In his own fictional universe, John Wick is an unstoppable assassin with a penchant for cute pups. But how would he fare against some of the most iconic comic book assassins out there? Let's find out. There's no doubt that John Wick has survived events which few human beings would have. How many of us would have simply cried about the loss of sweet little Daisy instead of going on an over-the-top vengeance-filled rampage? But even though we've seen John Wick shrug off bullets with a little out-of-office medical help, he has nothing on the healing abilities of Slade Wilson. John Wick may metaphorically lose his head from time to time, but Deadpool can quite literally lose his actual head and still be totally fine later on. He can heal injuries that would be fatal to humans and has the ability to regrow his lost limbs and reform his organs. Even if he wasn't cursed with immortality, his healing factor means he doesn't age. So if John Wick was hoping to wait him out, he'd have to choose a different strategy. He's been ripped apart by characters like Carnage and the Incredible Hulk, and yet he's still very much alive, making snarky comments and chowing down on chimichangas. In the first John Wick movie, our dog-avenging hero ends up tied to a chair, awaiting a seemingly certain end. Only the interference of his old friend Marcus manages to save him. But in a similar situation, Deadpool could have taken a blow to his head and healed himself up later on. But don't think that Deadpool's strength is all his ability to walk off his injuries. He may break his bones more often than he breaks the fourth wall, but he can also do a lot of damage. Both John Wick and Deadpool certainly take pride in their abilities to access a massive arsenal of items, but even empty-handed Deadpool has the advantages of superhuman strength, speed, agility, and stamina. Deadpool's definitely known for his ability to talk a big game. He is called the Merc with a mouth after all, but don't forget that he can also back up his big mouth. Well, most of the time. He's a master martial artist and one of the most skilled fighters in the Marvel comic universe. Unlike the consummate professional John Wick, he's also extremely unpredictable, and his spontaneous fighting skills definitely give him yet another edge in battle. John Wick almost certainly couldn't keep up with Deadpool's constant stream of banter, and he definitely couldn't keep up with him in a fight. Even though he's one of the most impressive assassins out there, at the end of the day, he's still constrained by his pesky mortality. And that's not something Deadpool has to worry about. As a child, John Wick was taken in by the Tarasov Russian Mafia and trained to be a ruthless assassin. But if he had the skills of Tony Masters, his training would have been completed a lot sooner. Even if you're not a comic book fan, you might recognize the Taskmaster from the Black Widow movie. He was born with the ability to duplicate movements after seeing them performed a single time. This ability was only enhanced when he received a dose of a knockoff super soldier serum. It made him a better warrior, but at the cost of his memories. John Wick retired from the hectic life of an assassin to spend time with his wife, and the Taskmaster flat out forgot he even had a wife once he acquired some flashy new skills. Unless the Taskmaster forgets what he's supposed to be doing mid-fight, and to be fair, that's a genuine possibility, he would absolutely defeat John Wick. All of those amazing techniques it took John years to master? Yeah, the Taskmaster would only have to see him do something once, and then he could perfectly replicate it. Is John Wick such an accomplished assassin that he could defeat himself? Instead of getting caught up on that paradox, let's appreciate that not only can the Taskmaster mimic John Wick, but he can replicate the techniques of anyone. He can't imitate superpowers, true, but that limitation won't come into play during a fight with John. Not only can he pull techniques from John's own arsenal, but from a number of other top-tier combatants. To give John Wick credit, he does have a massive range of hard-won talents. Who knew he was such an accomplished equestrian? But being a quick learner and an animal lover isn't going to be enough to help him out if he comes face to scary Skull Mask with the Taskmaster. Oh, and not only can he use John's own moves against him, but he can do so faster. He can momentarily increase his own speed, and his reflexes are twice as fast as the average humans. As talented as John Wick is, he doesn't have any moves that the Taskmaster can't use against him, in addition to his own superhuman agility. Even though he will probably forget their skirmish at some point, the Taskmaster would emerge victorious if he were to cross paths with John Wick. The Marvel Universe may have its fair share of dangerous assassins, but the world of DC Comics is no slouch in that department either. Let's take a look at how their top assassin would fare against the infamous John Wick. Yes, I'm talking about who else but Deathstroke. There aren't many characters out there who can take on superhuman beings and live to tell the tale, but Deathstroke not only fights them, he defeats them. Unless you count his efforts against the Teen Titans, Slade Wilson has never failed to fulfill a contract. That's definitely an impressive work performance record by my less than strict standards, but not when you're going up against John Wick. Come on, he can take enemies out with a pencil. John's known for his ability to complete even seemingly impossible jobs. so it'll take more than a solid employee evaluation to bring him down. Deathstroke was a member of the military, and even before his powers were enhanced, he was an incredible warrior. After sustaining an injury, the doctors who patched him up threw in a little something extra, making him a super soldier. And it's these modifications that give him the skills he needs to defeat John Wick in combat. He can heal at an accelerated rate, closing wounds that would be lethal to others in no time at all. Even if John Wick managed to do more damage during their confrontation, Deathstroke would be more than likely to be able to recover, especially if he can take advantage of the Continental services to kick back and relax. Hey, I didn't say which fictional universe this fight was taking place in, huh? Taking on someone like John Wick might seem intimidating to us non-comic book characters, but it's really nothing for someone like Deathstroke. He's faced off against the Justice League, taking on the Flash, Green Lantern, and Zatanna. Before the Green Lantern snuck up on him, things were looking bad for the rest of the heroes. Being able to incapacitate a trio of heroes shows that Deathstroke has more than enough skills to take down a lone human, even a skilled assassin like John Wick. Now let's talk tech. John Wick infamously has access to tons of quality arms and bulletproof armor, but we've seen Deathstroke use even more incredible weapons. He's wielded a sword known as the God Killer, and, well, you could probably guess how strong it is based on the name. Suffice to say, this sword allowed him to hold off both Superman and Wonder Woman, and ultimately defeat Iapetus, one of the Greek Titans. If he can bring down a Titan, that should tell you all you need to know about what he can do to John Wick. One thing you'll notice during the John Wick films is that our hero ends up in a lot of close-quarters confrontations. Sure, he's skilled at a distance, but it seems safe to say that this assassin thrives when he comes face-to-face with his enemies. Basically, as long as they're within punching distance, they're doomed. This gives us exciting moments like the subway scene in John Wick 2, but exposes that long-range combat could be one of his few vulnerabilities. This could lead him to losing a fight with Floyd Lawton, otherwise known as Deadshot. He's one of the greatest marksmen in the history of comic books, and his assassination skills command a high price for this reason. Deadshot can literally hit his mark with his eyes closed, so all he needs is one solid shot at John Wick and it's all over. Even if John Wick was able to close the distance between them, Deadshot is no slouch when it comes to hand-to-hand combat either. And thanks to his wrist-mounted weapons and grappling hook, he would definitely be able to hold his own until he could deliver the final blow. I'm not saying John Wick wouldn't get some damage in, but we've seen Deadshot survive getting blasted by Deathstroke. Meanwhile, there's John Wick, who often finds himself desperately searching for someone to sew up his wounds so he can live another day. And if you need more evidence that Deadshot is an incredibly powerful character, keep in mind that he was easily one of the least terrible parts of the Suicide Squad movie. That's something. Sorry for going for the low-hanging fruit there, but my aim isn't quite as good as Deadshot's. Deadshot is a trained assassin, so the odds are decent that he would attempt to take out John Wick without getting close enough for him to fight back. And his aim is so impeccable that he just might manage to get the jump on John and take a shot before he can even think about retaliating. There's no doubt in my mind that Deadpool would absolutely annihilate John Wick, and his Deadpool 2 co-star Domino would also be able to get the job done. In the comic books, we learn that Domino was the result of a top-secret government program designed to create the perfect weapon. The folks in charge of her project ended up not being impressed with her powers of luck, but I think it would give her a serious edge in the fight against John Wick. Because let's be honest, as much as these matches are about seeing how skills stack up, there's always an element of luck in battles. We've seen John benefit from the assistance of others, including Marcus and the Bowery King, and it's hard to say what his fate would have been if they didn't step up and help him. So let's keep in mind that while John Wick has lucked out from time to time, Domino's chance of fortune favoring her during a fight is much more assured. The extent of her powers is unknown, but simply being able to cause John's weapon to jam at just the right moment could be enough to ensure her victory. Not to mention that the fact that her power could help her dodge bullets even if John could get his weapon to fire in time. Although we might not know her limitations for sure, we've seen her benefit greatly in seemingly hopeless situations. In the House of M storyline, Domino was one of only 198 mutants lucky enough to keep her powers after the Scarlet Witch finished messing with reality. So taking out an assassin like John Wick should barely be a challenge for Domino's luck. She even managed to evade an entire guild of assassins and walk away from a car crash that slowed down Wolverine. A side effect of her abilities is that her reflexes are enhanced to superhuman levels, giving her an even greater chance at missing any attacks John throws at her. As far as weaknesses she has that John could exploit, there aren't too many. She is afraid of chickens, and John Wick is good with animals though. Taking someone out with a pencil is pretty neat, but frankly, I'd like to see John destroy Domino with a chicken, even though it would mean I was mistaken about who would win in the fight. But if John only has an arsenal of weapons in addition to his considerable fighting skills, and not a chicken, well, my money's still on Domino. I'd definitely love to see a match between John Wick and Deadpool. Which one of these matchups would you most like to see play out? Let us know what you think in the comment section and then click on subscribe for more new videos from us here at CBR. Bye for now.